And she looked at me and she said, "Ni pasama." And they were never afraid of anything. And those are the people that we come from.
I think it's just why we're all together here is that each one have their specific area of civil engagement, and then we would like to really share.
First of all, Sandy, thank you so much. We haven't had the chance to spend a lot of time together, but I know you by your work and your reputation, and it precedes you, and I know you've been very supportive of a lot of great public servants, including Mike Honda and many others. So it's a real honor to be with you. Thank you. This is a difficult moment for the Asian American and Chinese American community. It's a scary moment for all of us. And it was my honor to call together a national convening of Asian American leaders and elected officials in Washington, D.C. on May 4th. It was led by state attorneys general, including the Attorney General of Washington, D.C., Carl Racine, and a number of other state AGs, including the new Attorney General of California, Rob Bonta, who is himself a Filipino American. And that, of course, was a critical national convening to bring people together to say, what can we do to confront this crisis of hate and attacks on Asian Americans and Chinese Americans across the country.
Many years ago, I was in the San Francisco Chamber of Commerce, and Willie Brown, who was elected the mayor, had gone to Chinatown and raised a lot of money. But he did not appoint any Chinese Americans to any important positions. And when asked why, Willie said, because they don't matter. They don't matter. And it's because they don't vote.
Sometimes you hear these stereotypes about Asian Americans, about Chinese Americans, that we're quiet, that we don't rock the boat, that we don't challenge authority, that we don't speak up. Not just you, Sandy, and you, Vincent, but I think about my own parents. My parents came here in the early 70s with nothing. And they met in Bloomfield, Connecticut, of all places. It's a suburb of Hartford, Connecticut. They met in a Chinese restaurant. And since that day, all they've done in their entire lives is take risk. They've overcome every challenge, right? Stared down every threat or attack on their family. They've raised 5 children, and they were never afraid of anything. And those are the people that we come from.
I think Asians are great contributor to this country, and we are a very important part of this country, and we can be an influence in this country. This country is great because of diversity.
We have been saying if you're not at the table, you will be on the menu. But if you don't participate or if you don't vote, you're not even on the menu. So now we need to have more critical mass with the seat at the table so that we can together rewrite the menu.
Because Andrew, in 2018, announced running for the president of the United States, that actually say, hey, we could do something. Somebody just have to come up with the first step. And then we just need more. And I would say, in looking at you, I would say our dream could come true.
Andrew has break the possibility that everyone can run any position if you like, and he ran presidential election and run for the New York mayor's election. Both achieved the record fundraising and also go to the stage unexpected. No one can expect it. He can go that far. And I personally believe there are going to more and more young generation, Asian community, Chinese community, the youth going to jump into the political to run election. And I think this wave and the pipeline is going to help all the Asian community and Chinese community.
Last year, we organized a series of candidate forums to make sure Asian American voters, they are informed, educated about political candidates, and make sure they can make an informed decision. We can make sure we are being seen and being heard by the mainstream society that can help reduce the hate and the bias against Asian Americans.
One thing we accomplish is we work with Antioch City. The city council officially passed a resolution to apologize to early Chinese immigrants. This is the first U.S. government ever to apologize to early Chinese. So we're going to work with them more to build a Chinese museum and put a mural in the old Chinatown. And hopefully, we can all work together, get more government to apologize to the Chinese Americans. Hopefully, we can work together, support each other, and move up, empower the whole Asian community.
I was really alarmed when I heard the word stop and hate being used in the Asian community, that it could be tied negatively to Asian Americans and Asians for that matter. So I wanted to create something that words and also that were more positive, and also something that would address the invisibility of Asians. So I came up with an organization called Asians Are Visible, which does all of that. It's more empowering messaging, and it sheds more of a positive light in the Asian community, and also it really addresses the invisibility of Asians in America. And our goal is to amplify Asian visibility through not only the political realm, but also in the corporate world, and also Asians in entertainment, because as you know, if you don't see people, they don't exist, and we need more Asians in the realms of entertainment and in the media, as well as philanthropy.
We have done a number of things during the pandemic and helped the community. I think a couple of things that stands out for me is we really help our families, youth, to deal with the mental stress, and by addressing the mental health issues, increasing their mental health knowledge, decrease stigma, and encourage the family and parents and youth to talk about it. So that's one thing that we've done. The second thing that we have developed anti-racism toolkits, so that, again, this is educational resources for the families to answer the questions of the children who have encounter anti-racism comments or microaggressions or bullying at school. We teach the parents how to deal with it. So we have two sets. One is to the parents, toolkits for the parents, and the other one is for the youth, to teach the children and the youth how to answer or deal with the anti-bullying and racism at school. So these are the two things I think that is very much related to the pandemic, and also very much related to our community. As we increase the incidence of our children have increased incidence of facing the racism.
In public service, it's service to the people, not just yourself, not just one agenda, but this country and higher ideals that can really unite everyone as human beings. It's a thing that goes far beyond simple money, simple means of survival. It's what makes us human. And so service to the people is important. And if you don't do anything, if not you, if not me, then who?
I think that a lot of us learn from our parents the importance of working hard, education, achievement, and I agree with all of that, but I think we're at a point where keeping your head down and going it alone only gets you so far. to get to the next step, we need to be coordinated and work with each other and have each other's backs.
When I first ran for office in 2006, so I knocked on 6,000 doors to win that state house seat. Well, one day I came home, I had a newborn, so my mom was home caring for Eleanor. She was just a few months old. And I was drenched in sweat, and it wasn't a good day knocking doors. People were not that nice that day. And I said, I don't know about this. My mother said, what do you mean? What don't you know? I said, this is really hard. And she said, I know it's hard. And I said, well, I'm scared I'm not gonna win. And my mother got so angry. And she looked at me and she said, impossible.
I like it.
What are you afraid of?
I like it.
Knucklehead, right? And in that moment, my mother, who's been through so much, right? She just, with those few words, summarized for me why it's important to serve. They have been through so much, and I have had every opportunity. And it's our obligation to honor their sacrifice and to honor their struggle. And nothing is harder than what my parents went through and what all of you went through, right? My grandparents, my parents, Paul Nan, ran from war and famine and running for their lives, literally. We have the tremendous opportunity now to go further and to build on their sacrifice and their courage and their strength. And that's what gets me up every day. So thank you so much for hosting me and for giving me the opportunity to serve and to honor everybody's efforts and sacrifices and to strengthen our community across the country. So thank you.
We need to be at a table to give our fair share of contributing to this society. So therefore, also, that we use all our education, our experience to participate in managing this wonderful country that we love so much.